Well, it's a rainy old day in Chaco, and I'm having to do this from inside, which I prefer not to do. I'd rather be outside, but I can't control this weather up here as much as I try. Last week, I suggested to you that everybody has a story, and on this channel, we plan to showcase as many of them as we can. You might think that yours is not very interesting or different, but I would respectfully disagree. Now, I've never heard one that wasn't interesting or different. And several of you have already sent yours, and I hope the rest of you will, because we should never run out. A little history here. My wife, Perry, and our two kids and I moved out to little Chaco, Mississippi community 50 years ago. And we had our horses, cows, bird dogs, and retrievers, and cats, and chickens, and ferrets, and we loved the place. And we were in the country, not a house around anywhere, and you couldn't see another light from our house when it got dark. Then, one at a time, people started building houses closer and closer to us. And I'll admit to view what I perceived at the time as a sort of a encroachment on our privacy. But that observation soon gave way to the realization that, without exception, these were really fine people who made wonderful neighbors. Without exception now. And I'm going to introduce you to one of them today. 20 years ago, we learned that a black family had bought several acres directly across the road from us and planned to build a house over there. Well, sure enough, I soon saw some men over there surveying, and I walked over to meet the owner. I liked him from the start. And here's his story. Grit, determination, perseverance, and family loyalty characterized this man. He was the fourth oldest of 10 children and the oldest boy, and he was thrust into the role of man of the family at age 8 when his father deserted his family. Now, he was barely able to reach the plow handles, but he assumed his role of assisting his school teacher mother in working their hard scrapple little farm in Winston County. Meet Willie Killins Sr., teacher, principal, and grandfather with a knack for turning troubled schools around. He missed a lot of elementary school days when he was little because of his duties on the farm, but under his mother's tutelage, he graduated in the 8th grade, valedictorian of his class. And went to high school. Then during his high school years, he was urged by the school coach to play football because of his athletic ability, and he wanted to play. But his mother asked him to shun that aspiration because if he should be hurt, he wouldn't be able to perform his duties at the farm, and she desperately needed him there. Well, when he finished high school, he earned his college degree at Jackson State in 3 years while working year-round as a waiter at the King Edward Hotel. And after graduating with a degree in elementary education, minoring in math, and spending 2 years teaching math and science in Starkville, Mississippi, he was offered and accepted a teaching position in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. His first job there was teaching math in the worst troubled junior high school in Milwaukee. Can you imagine trying to teach math at a troubled junior high school? And he was successful at doing just that. His innovative and common sense methods of teaching and later on managing schools by involving the student, the teachers, the parents, and the principals would take up too much time to go here, but suffice it to say that he was the prime influence that set a huge number of potentially incorrigible students on the right path to be successful. What an accomplishment. Well, during his 33-year career in Milwaukee, where he taught and served as principal of 3 schools, he married his wife, Bobby, who was also an assistant principal. And retiring from Milwaukee school system, he and Bobby returned to Mississippi to care for his elderly mother. And they built a beautiful 6,500 square foot home directly across the road from our house. He said they wanted to have room enough to house his 3 sons' family when they come to visit. And they have the room. Their 2 youngest sons, DeJuan and Dale, are successful engineers and are located in the Michigan and Illinois area. And the eldest son, Dr. Willie Killins Jr., recently earned his PhD in education administration and served as principal of Wingfield High School in Jackson. Now, the Killins have been our neighbors now for 20 years, and Willie and Bobby are valued friends of ours. And I think the best way to describe Willie is to say that he's a good man. And I can't think of a better accolade than that. I'm Jim Ritchie, and I'll see you again next time.